You know, if you're someone who loves flying drones, you could actually be sitting on a major career opportunity. Today, we're going to break down exactly how you can turn that hobby into a real profession by getting your official FAA drone pilot license.
So, let me just ask you this. Have you ever looked at your drone and wondered, could I actually get paid for this? Well, the answer is a huge yes, and the opportunity is probably way bigger than you think. This isn't just about a little side hustle. We're talking about a full-on career path.
Get a load of this number, 422,000. That's how many jobs for drone operators are projected to be out there. This isn't some niche little hobby anymore. It's a booming industry that is desperate for skilled pilots. The growth here is just explosive.
And to put that in perspective, right now there are over 854,000 drones registered with the FAA. And get this, more than 320,000 of them are for commercial use. The sky is getting busy, and that, my friends, is a fantastic sign for anyone looking to get into this field.
So where's all the money coming from? Well, businesses and government agencies are expected to spend around $13 billion on drones. That's the fuel that's powering all those jobs we were just talking about. It's serious business. Okay, so it's pretty clear the drone industry is absolutely taking off. But to get on board, there's one specific, non-negotiable key that you are going to need. And that key is all about understanding the rules of the sky. See, you can't just decide to start a drone business from your garage. There are official regulations you've got to follow. And here's the big one, the most important rule of all. According to the FAA, any flight that isn't just for fun, purely recreational, requires you to be officially certified. That means if you're flying for your company, for a client, or even for a government agency, you need something called a Part 107 certificate.
And this is it, the Part 107 Remote Pilot Certificate. In plain English, it's the official FAA credential that proves you know your stuff. You understand the rules, the requirements, and all the procedures for flying drones commercially. And, most importantly, safely.
Honestly, you should think of this thing as a gateway. It's not just some piece of paper. It's an industry-recognized license that gives you a massive advantage and literally unlocks those professional opportunities we've been talking about.
Okay, so you're probably wondering, am I eligible to get this? Let's run through the 4 main requirements from the FAA.
The good news is the requirements are pretty straightforward. You need to be at least 16, you have to be able to read, speak, write, and understand English. You've got to be in a physical and mental state to fly safely. And then there's the big one. You have to pass that initial aeronautical knowledge exam.
So, how do you actually do it? What's the path to getting certified? Let's break down the official step-by-step process. Okay, this might look a little complicated, but it's really not. First, you get what's called an FAA tracking number, or FTN, by making a profile on their website. Easy enough. Second, you schedule your test at an approved testing center. Third, you go and pass that test. Fourth, you hop back online to complete your official application. Fifth, the TSA does a quick security background check. And finally, you get your temporary certificate online almost right away, and your permanent card comes in the mail. That's it. Now, let's talk cost. That knowledge test isn't free. You can expect the FAA-approved testing centers to charge right around $175 for you to take that initial exam.
So, that brings us to the most important question. How do you actually prepare for this thing? Let's dive into some real-world advice on how to study. I saw this quote from a user on Reddit, and it just hit the nail on the head. They said, "I spent too much money to prep for Part 107, and these are my takeaways." And this is so important because it brings up the big debate about how you should study. So here's the breakdown. On one hand, you've got paid courses. Some, like Pilot Institute, get rave reviews for being super clear and engaging. But other courses, well, people say they're not as great. Now, on the other hand, you have totally free resources. And here's the key takeaway. Tons of people pass this test with flying colors, using only free stuff, like awesome review videos on YouTube and online practice tests. You really don't have to spend a fortune.
But here's the deal. No matter how you choose to study, paid or free, you absolutely, positively must master these core topics. We're talking drone laws, airspace classifications, how to read aviation weather reports, flight operations, and aircraft loading. You have to know this stuff inside and out. All right, let's bring this all home. Your drone career is waiting. Let's talk about why going through all this effort to get your Part 107 license is so worth it. I mean, just look at the sheer variety of industries here. A Part 107 certificate isn't just for filmmakers.
It's your ticket into careers in public safety, like search and rescue, agriculture, inspecting massive bridges and power lines, creating 3D maps, geological surveying, wildlife monitoring. The list just goes on and on.
So, once you have that license in your hand, the path is clear. The sky, quite literally, is waiting for you.
The only question left is, what are you going to build?